Hi guys.
What's up?
Welcome back to y'all hearing this podcast version.
The podcast version.
Podcast. My name is Kay. Thank you guys so much for coming back.
Yes, and my name is Honeybee, or you can call me B.
If you'll notice too.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Well.
So, we are so excited to talk to you guys today about our theme this week. So,
Yes.
we wanted to, especially because this is the week of the elections.
Yes.
We wanted to talk about rebel songs, fight songs. You know, because we have the opportunity in our country to vote.
Yes.
And it's not something that's mandated. It is it's a right that we have. It's a right that we need to continue to fight for. It's a right that we need to exercise.
Okay.
And I'm talking about everybody.
Well.
There is definitely things in this country. Oh, there are so many things in this country that need to be fixed.
You ain't never lie.
Especially about the elections, making it way easier for people to vote.
I'll sip to that. Let me sip my water, girl.
Anyway, we understand that feeling kind of like the despair about things and feeling kind of like your voice can't be heard. But you know what? One of the only ways you truly can is to vote. And so we wanted to talk about this theme this week and wanted to, I mean, by the time this comes out, everyone will have already voted, but please get involved is what we're saying.
Yes.
So, talking about that.
Yes. Rebel songs.
Yeah,
girl.
rebel songs. So, my pick this week, like I was saying in the reaction video, I actually came across it through Elton John of all people.
Yeah.
He has an Apple radio show, and he is just really great about promoting new artists, talking to new artists. I can't remember if he actually spoke with them, but...
Which, side note, is really dope because I feel like there's always been that reputation of older artists that when you hit a certain point in your career where they supposedly are just like, I don't do features with new artists, I don't do this unless you're established, I don't do blah 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 blah.
He's like, if he likes your music, he will play it. If he likes your music, he will talk about it. If he likes your music, he wants to talk to you, he wants to come to your concert. He's all the time when he interviews people is like, when I'm in the States, if you're playing, you let me know and I'm gonna come to your show.
Yes.
You know, like can you imagine?
Yes, Elton John. But you know what I love about him too? He is also that same motherfucker who will literally be like, that ain't it.
Yeah.
And I live for it. Yeah, no, and I live for it. You know what I mean?
You can tell the people that he plays and the people that he has on are people he truly enjoys.
Right.
You know.
And he truly cares for, like, Lady Gaga. I mean, that's like the godmother of his child. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's dope. The way that an established artist, a seasoned artist like Elton John, to give that love and support, like, that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah. And, like, you don't have to. But, like, he chooses to strictly for the love of music.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, you know, for the love of the person. But, like, it starts with that. And I think that's so dope.
I feel like he would fit into this podcast so well, because he's Elton John.
Yes, I mean, come on, Ellen. Hi.
But he also, like, he looks at the charts every week. He looks at the producers. He looks at, you know what I mean? Like, he is very much into, like, the behind the scenes of the music too. You know, so I love that about him. But anyway, without him, I probably...
Ellen, we love you.
Yeah, we really do. We really do. For your music, first of all.
Right.
And then for all of this other amazing, just being an amazing person. You can tell in everything that you do, and that's awesome. Especially his AIDS Foundation too.
Okay.
So he's done so much. But
come on, Uncle.
Exactly. So I don't know that I ever would have heard the song without him. I'll just put it right like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I just don't know.
Especially with, side note, with algorithms and stuff and the way that the world works, trying to get messages like this out. I'm just going to leave it at that. Algorithms, y'all.
Yeah, so the song that I chose is called Fight On. It's by the Harlem Gospel Travelers. And it just, well, it obviously came out during, you know, Black Lives Matter movement, during the George Floyd, what's the word I'm looking for? Protests and things like that. You know, during everything that happened kind of during lockdown, you know, and I...
Definitely 2020.
Yeah, I found it to be so powerful. The message, the absolute oh, this man's voice, like the lead singer's voice is so beautiful. And it, like, the message was very rightfully like angry and like,
Mm-hmm.
talking about the need to fight, but it was also like a hopeful, like, everything is going to be all right. Like, we are going to fight through this, and together we can make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
And giving that hope to people that rightfully so have been feeling hopeless for a really
Mm-hmm.
long time. And
Mm-hmm.
as more and more things happen in this world, and it's like 2 steps ahead and 5 million steps back sometimes, it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, anyway, I just thought it was so powerful. And we actually watched the video during the reaction, so please go check that out too.
Mm-hmm.
I had never seen the video, and it was super powerful.
Mm-hmm.
They put together some of the protests that were happening just a couple years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
also matched it with some of the civil rights
Mm-hmm.
movement marches and things like that.
Yeah, the featured, like, the
Quoted them.
clips that they did
Oh yeah, the clips
were incredible, but then that quote at the end was like,
yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, so please
So
go
good.
check out that video. And please go check out this band. I will put a link to their Bandcamp too, because you can buy their EP through there. And it was $2.
Yeah. Support.
But they do also have vinyl and things like that too.
Dope.
So anyway, this is what the artist had to say. It actually was released on my birthday in 2021, August 13th.
No way! That's
funny, I didn't know
dope.
that. So, group member and songwriter Thomas Gatling says this about the song. During slavery, songs were a form of communication for Black people. These songs became known as hymns, or as our seasoned saints call them, the songs that brought us over. Fight On was inspired by a hymn called Hold On, Just a Little While Longer, a song used to encourage Black people to not give up. Through that song, God Gave Me Fight On. It was written to amplify the voices that for so long had fallen on deaf ears, and to encourage and uplift people to continue the fight for equality and against white supremacy. Be empowered, my people. We are not thugs, we are innovators. We are intelligent, and our feelings, hopes, dreams, and lives matter. Fight on, and everything's going to be all right. And I love that.
I love that you picked a gospel song.
Yeah.
Because I love gospel music.
Yeah. So when we did that one before,
good.
we did a couple ones, probably a month or so back. I really loved them. And like, I had heard this before, I'd heard those. But I was saying, I love that duality of the track of, the strength needed to fight, but also that hopefulness, that love,
spirituality behind it
exactly.
too. Yeah.
And this is something like, as we said in our gospel reactions, like, you don't need to believe in a specific something to enjoy gospel music.
Yes.
Because that joyfulness, that beauty, that strength comes through.
Yes.
And it's such a testament to the faith of people. It may not be a faith you share, but I think faith is a beautiful thing. I will put the caveat out there: don't push your faith on other people. But I think seeing faith in someone else, seeing like the strength it can give someone else, I think is such a powerful thing.
Yes, and that's what this song did. Like, this song was right on time. I think it's relatable to those times, and especially what he's singing about, and it's also relatable to just people going through everyday issues, or whatever the case may be. And I love, there is something that when it comes to gospel music, I think as a music level for me, I love just flat foot, it's literally a term, just flat foot singing. Just when you just open your mouth and you sing, you get the rasp, you get the vocal cracks. When somebody knows how to control that, like when you control what is supposed to be the uncontrollable, because that's when those sounds come out, is because you don't have control over it. Like, so when you are able to control the uncontrollable, like, that to me is like, you are just like, you were made to sing. And like,
they were made to sing.
They were made to sing.
It's amazing to me that someone can open their mouth and that sound comes out. It's amazing.
I was dumbfounded. Like, and it's funny because I know heard the song before, but I was like, it didn't register.
Maybe not in passing.
In passing, like, you know what I'm saying? And like, to that man who sang lead, sir, bruh.
You were everything. That was amazing.
You knew I was gonna go next.
Right.
But I ain't gonna say it. Because we a family show. I mean, well...
Are we
really though? Well, shit. Listen. You sang The Mess out of that song. Okay? The Mess out of that song. That was such a good pick.
I thought you were going to smack me in the face at one point. You're like, what?
I was like... She did. I was like...
Barricade.
I was like, hallelujah. Oh, when I was doing this. And
I was like, that's really close to my phone.
For those who can't see, I was out here. If you
go watch the reaction videos.
Yeah. Listen, go watch the reaction video. You'll see what I was doing. But like, or you can watch this video too. But like, if you literally saw, it's just something that innately happens. Whatever. I don't care who you are. Every black person and every person of color, and you know what? Everybody can relate to this. But specifically, I just know that whenever somebody starts singing like that, 9 out of 10 times, if you look anywhere in a room and there's a gospel choir singing like that, I promise you will see at least one black person going like this.
See, for me, it's shaking the head. The whole time I'm just like shaking my head. I'm like, nope, I'm not hearing that. It's not, for some reason, it's not registering.
And the stank face.
Yeah, exactly.
If you shake your head, you gotta have stank face. You gotta be like, Well, all right, tell it then.
That's right.
That's what you got. That's how you have to listen. I'm telling you, that's how black people, they're like, we were talking about wade in the water. You better wade in the water. What's that water doing? Wading. Like, straight up. And that's how I felt during this song.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like somebody was going to stand up and just, I'm on, baby. You better. You better keep it going. You better keep moving on. Like, literally, that's how I felt. Like, the hair going, the whole falling out. Like, that's what I felt when I heard that song. I love that you will lead it back.
I'm like,
she thought she was in trouble for not seeing Space World, y'all.
Yep.
I was thinking of the future. I didn't tell y'all. Yeah.
It's fine. Pretend you didn't hear that.
Right, you didn't hear that. I didn't expose nothing.
What?
Right, we're just gonna put a beep over that. Yeah. But yes, it was so good. And I think that it definitely goes with, you know, what we're trying to accomplish with this theme for this week. I think it definitely goes with the idea that you cannot make a change until you use your voice for that. And,
absolutely.
You know,
everyone needs to use their voice.
Yes. It was so good. So it was a great choice.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Well, sure.
I know, I'm so excited to get into yours because yours was amazing too.
So I picked,
never heard.
Oh my God. I love Candice Pillay. She's an incredible songwriter. She's an incredible musician. And so she released this song on an EP that she had released in 2015 that was called The Mood Kill. And she ended up taking that song and remaking it and releasing it in 2021. And it's called Stand Silent. And so I actually, because, you know, as you guys know, most of the independent artists that we feature on here, they don't really have like all the background, you know, info that like a Beyonce track would have or a BTS song would have.
Yeah, just like mine, that was the only info I could find.
Right. Which, side note, is something that we should change. Yeah. Just saying. Yeah. Independent artists are just as important as these major label artists. So we should make sure that they, you know, have all their credits and everything due to be seen. So what I did though is I'm going to give you guys the history of Candice Pillay and, you know, just give you guys her background, where she comes from, and, you know, basically what she's doing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So Candice Pillay is a South African singer and songwriter that's based out of LA. She is best known for writing songs for artists including Rihanna, Kendrick Lamar, Calvin Harris, Christina Aguilera, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Schoolboy Q. She was actually a part of the creation of the group Why Don't We? And she also wrote for Rita Ora, Seven Streeter, Logan Paul, and Tiny Temper.
Logan Paul.
Right. Among
Candice
other people.
Candice.
Oh, wait a minute. You listen.
All right, make that money, girl.
Yeah, like, listen. We don't know what the circumstances were.
I know, that's
you know
true.
What I'm saying?
That's true.
We don't know what the circumstances were. It could have been, long before,
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
I truly don't mean to judge.
No, I do. But, like...
Maybe a little bit.
It is what it is, though. But, like, on some real... No.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So she was born in South Africa. She released her first mixtape in December of 2014, which the mixtape is called The Mood Kill. It's a 15-song compilation written by Pillay and her collaborators with Alex the Kid and a producer by the name of Dem Joints. In 2015, she was featured on Dr. Dre's album Compton on 2 songs, one of them featuring Eminem and Anderson .Paak. In an interview with MTV, Pillay spoke about working with Dr. Dre, stating, "He really made an impression on me from the moment I met him.
I'm sure.
Of course, he's a legendary guy.
Yeah.
We all look up to him. You never know what to expect when you meet someone of his caliber. But from the first meeting, he was one of the most humble guys I've ever met." In 2015, she co-wrote Rihanna's song American Oxygen. She again has worked with so many different people, and in September of 2020, Pillay released Stand Silent featuring John Connor in the midst of protests following the murder of George Floyd. And then in April of 2021, she released her last EP, which is called The Rise. And so I love Candice Pillay, not just for her music, but she's one of those people who, like, if you reach out to her on social media, she'll respond.
That's awesome.
Like, she is so down to earth. I've talked to her, like, off of social media. Like, her family is absolutely incredible. Like, she always, like, the way she goes about, like, her career is so inspiring, because it's like she literally does it and she makes it known that she does everything that she does is not just for her as a person, as an artist, but she does everything for her family to better them, to, take them to whatever dreams they want to accomplish. Like, she really is, like, so relatable, because that's, at the end of the day, I feel like that's what we all want. And I think also because of her background, because of her family's background, I feel like it's so incredible to see somebody come from that culture where they come from an area of unknown and an area of constant fight or trauma, and, like, to evade that and to come to this country where, not for nothing, it's almost like you're walking into it again. It's just a little bit different. Like,
it's not quite fully over. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not rubber stamped as government, like, okayed, but it is.
Right. Like, I feel like probably, in other countries,
it's like an unspoken apartheid.
Yes, because I was gonna say, I feel like the traumas and the diversity and, like, just the violence, all that stuff that all these other countries see, I feel like these countries they just throw it in your face point blank, whereas, like, when you come here, it's like, we're not gonna throw it in your face point blank.
Part of the system.
It's just part of the system. Like, you just gotta accept it. Like, you'll be alright. You'll be alright. Don't even worry about that. Just sign on the dotted line. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the fine print.
Just be careful about everything you possibly do ever in your life, because you never know.
Right. But to leave, a country where they, could have been experiencing that, or just come from hard times, to come to another country where it's like, to having, like, to still seeing that, but maybe not on the same level.
Yeah.
And the fact that she created this song to kind of help people out. It's like, it's not just like, oh, let me just be an artist and just make a song just because it's the thing to do. It's like, no, all those lyrics in Stand Silent are things that she probably experienced or like that she feels or that she is truly wholeheartedly connected to. And the fact that she's come here and she does everything for her family and to better not just her, but future artists that are coming up and future international artists and like that style of music and the way that she tributes the music that she listens to. And like, she is not one to like, she truly is like a real person. And I know I'm stressing it. And it's just because Candice just deserves all the flowers. Like, sis is thebomb.com. You definitely should go stream all of her music. Yeah. She actually has like a whole, on Apple Music, they do this feature now where it's like the songwriter playlist.
Oh, okay, so it features some of the songs that she wrote for other artists.
So cool. If you type her name in, she actually has her own songwriter playlist.
That's
and
awesome.
like,
that's cool.
So she's right up there with like the Brian Michael Cox's, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis's. Like, awesome. So that's a big deal. So I think
I love that too. I love when like music services take that too, because sometimes you do want to not only hear just an artist's music, but also like what else they've written and things like that. Because I think that's really important too.
Yeah, I do too.
That's awesome.
I think it's really important. I think it's definitely inspiring. And so so that was my pick this week was Candice Pillay, Stand Silent.
It was such a good video, such a good song. Like, I can't wait to hear more. I knew I had heard the name, but I don't know that I've ever heard any songs from her before. And that was just so powerful. Such a great pick for this week for sure.
Oh my gosh. It's like, I know, especially on her EPs that she has out, I know that you're definitely gonna love her music. But on the Mood Kill, because that was the first that was actually the first like album that I heard from her. And actually she had come out with a remake of Lil Wayne's 6'7", I think it's called. And that was like back when people used to remake each other's songs and mixtapes. Child, she went in on that song and I used to play it out. Like, I used to play it out. And then the Mood Kill came out. But the Mood Kill, I really want to play for you. And it's unfortunately not on streaming services, but I think you can still get it on her SoundCloud.
Oh, okay. Cool. SoundCloud,
but you would like it because it definitely has like trip hop and like has like these electronic like moments mixed throughout it. And what makes Candice also so special is the tone of her voice. And she does this thing with her voice where I can't even like pinpoint it, but it sounds incredible against like that electronic, but like trip hop, R&B. Like, she literally does it all. She's
beats and things like that. That's awesome.
Like, you could tell her heart is with hip hop.
Yeah.
Like, first and foremost. But she expands it because she's just so eclectic. And
I love that. I love when artists take like a risk and do like a different style or something. It's so cool, you know? And I love hearing that because it's like their interpretation of that different style, you know? So it's so cool. I love it. I'm here for it all day long.
So she's dope. She is just everything. Shout out to Candice.
Yeah.
We love you so much, girl.
That was amazing. I can't wait to hear more.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So, you know, since we're talking about using your voice to make a change and, you know, really trying to push everybody to make sure and to go vote, I've always, like, I never asked my parents, but, like, I figured, and we were talking about this earlier, I was like, I figured I'd bring it up and just be like, you know, what was your, you know, this is our say what section. Let me just segue. You know, we can't start talking tea until we, you know, get that out.
Right.
So, but what was, do you remember your first time voting?
Yeah, so I turned 18 in 98, so I didn't do, I can't remember if I voted in like the more local stuff that year, or if my first time voting might have been like the 2000 elections. And that was John Kerry and George W., I believe. Yep. So I do remember that. And then 2004, it was George W., and who was running against him? God, that's...
Oh my God. Shit. It was George W. Bush and oh, this is gonna irk me because
I know. I'm sorry.
people
We need to look
used to
this
make
up.
jokes about him, and
I know what would.
I'm looking it up. Hold on, I got it. George W. Bush against.
Yeah, because John Kerry was 2000, right? No. Was that Al Gore?
Yeah, I think it's Al Gore.
Al Gore was 2000 and John Kerry was 98. 2004. Okay, never mind. Okay, yeah, we got it now.
Okay.
So yeah, and of course, I mean, if you guys couldn't tell already, I'm a friggin' Democrat. I'm a very liberal person.
Right.
So obviously I did Gore. Yeah, because that was the whole mishmash with Florida and the hanging chads and all that sort of crap. Oh God. But I have to say, the first time I think that was the most memorable to me, and the time that I felt the most inspired by a candidate was absolutely 2008 and voting for Obama.
Mm-hmm.
I felt, and watching like the results come in, I cried. Like, it was just such an amazing thing to me. Not just because he was black, but like because I felt like it was this palpable change, and that hope that he kept talking about and everything. Like, it really like resonated with me, and like it felt like such a new beginning for our country, even though it ended up not really being. But
Right.
I definitely think it was a step in the right direction anyway. But and that also was around the time, I think I've mentioned this before, my grandmother passed away in like December of that year. But she was so happy to see him get elected. And so it kind of had that special meaning to me that way too. But yeah, it's one of those things, like I try and get more informed, especially about the local stuff, especially nowadays.
Yes.
A lot of things, especially with the Supreme Court, things are going back to states' rights. And so it's super important that you also vote in your primaries, that you vote in your local elections, and do your homework, because it doesn't necessarily mean anything Republican versus Democrat anymore. There are really factions within those.
Yep.
It's really important, and most local papers will do like a whole kind of like rundown of things too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Providence Journal does every year.
Awesome.
And so I try and like keep a lookout for that.
I kind of want to read that now.
Yeah. And it usually comes out like about the week before or something. But just to give you like a tiny rundown or whatever. But you can go online and to like your local state website and find out who is, what your district is and all that sort of stuff, and like who you're voting for. Who's on the ballot anyway, and then you can even look them up. I mean, I think it's really important to do that, and I know it sounds like a lot, so that's why I'm mentioning also that the local paper kind of does a rundown usually too. But yeah, I think it's such an important part of us, and I know that I know I speak from a place of privilege. Absolutely. So I know that it is not as easy to get to the polls. It's not as easy to get a license or a state ID to go to go vote. There are definitely voter laws that need to be put in place, but the only way we're going to get there is if whoever can does vote and votes a certain goddamn way. But anyway, that's not as much as I'll say about that. But anyway, what about you? Do you remember the first time you ever voted?
Yes, it was actually the first time I ever voted was for Obama.
Was it? Oh, that's
it
awesome.
was, and because I had turned 18 in the year that I graduated, 2006, and then 2008, I voted, and it was interesting because I remember walking into where we had to vote, and it was my first time ever, and I never experienced anything like that. And it was just like seeing the lines and lines of people, and then going up to the actual voting. Child, do you remember back in the day when we would do those tests with the number 2 pencils?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Girl,
Scantrons. Yep.
Scantron, bitch. I was scared. I was like, oh, bitch, let me not mess this up. The one thing I will say that I did not like, and I don't know if they still do this. I don't think they did actually. Well, maybe they did the last time I voted. Was I don't like when they would make you declare what.
So Rhode Island does.
Okay.
So it's state by state. So in Rhode Island, you get a ballot based on your affiliation.
Okay, because I thought it was a little uncomfortable to have to say that out loud around other people, just because I come from a military family, as you know, so you know how they're all about like being extra private. So like to say that out loud, and it was like it wasn't in a private area, like there was just people around me. I was like, oh, that's a little awkward. But
Yeah,
yeah.
Rhode Island, when you register, you have to register as either Democrat, Republican, Independent. I don't know if there are any other parties on it, but yeah, you have to register as a party.
But then why would they give you a certain...
Some states do and some states don't.
But why do they... And this is a really good, like, interesting question, because why would they give you a different ballot, I guess?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. They don't give you a different... I'm sorry. I should say, when you register, you have to register as a certain party. But no, you get a ballot. Yeah.
You get the same ballot as everybody else, right?
I'm sorry.
So then, that's what my question is, like, so why do I have to say it out loud if I'm already pre-registered?
You shouldn't have to say it out loud.
Shout, every person was saying it, like, they were asking everybody. Huh. And it was weird. And I was like... Is that
maybe there was a double check to make sure the records are right?
Maybe. To see if you registered the right way. To see if, like, the person lined up.
Yeah.
But I thought, now, I mean, even more so now everything's even more digital.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I don't think...
Well, they scan your IDs, but...
Have I used... like for voting, I think I've always used paper. I don't think I've had the experience, because where I vote now, it's a tiny little place, so like they just don't have like the automated, I'm trying to remember if I've ever gone to one where maybe I did. When I was living in Providence, I think I went to one and it had the screen instead of the paper. But yeah, it was incredible. I remember waiting to hear the results. I remember freaking out hearing the results. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was crying. I was laughing. I was so happy.
Oh my God.
I can't remember where was I even living at that point in time. I can't even remember. But yeah.
It was so dope. And it was an incredible experience. And, it was a step in the right direction. I think more than ever now, it's really important, like you were saying, like your local primaries are like, they're so important. And I'll be the first one to say, look, when I went to vote for Obama, child, when I tell you that I checked off, I went by at the time just anything that said Democrat.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know anything about what was happening locally. Yep. I looked at some of the questions, and I think at the time there was like some questions that were starting to arise about marijuana and all that stuff. But other than that, child, I didn't know nothing about nothing happening in my local area.
Oh, and me too.
I just went,
when I first, this was only in the last couple years.
Right. That now it's
since
like...
Trump. I'm going to tell you right out. Since Trump was when I've paid more attention.
Yep. Because now people are not afraid to really show their true colors more than ever. And... Which,
almost thank God, because then you know who not to vote for, but at the same time...
Yes. And I literally...
It's not okay. It's not okay to ever say that shit out loud, people. It's just not... It's not ever... I mean, I don't want you secretly thinking either, but Jesus Christ, shut up.
Right. So now it's like we're just at that point in time where now we are, really need to be in the know.
Yeah.
And so it's really important to really just pay attention, ask questions. Don't feel nervous to ask questions. This is your life. This is your right. This is literally your body. Yeah. So, ask questions. Don't feel weird to ask questions to whether it's, I'm sure there's plenty of lines out there that you can call for help if you have questions about who to, if
I find some good stuff, I'll put it in. Oh, I'm sure I will. I'll find some places you can look up some links down below.
Yeah. And, and just make sure, again, that you're registered to vote.
Yeah.
And
that's the big thing, because you usually have to do it a couple months in advance.
Yep. So. And make sure you use your voice.
Yeah.
What's the point of having it if you're not going to use it?
I'll definitely put the link below on where to register, because you can do all of that online. Yes. You can pick your state and put in your address and do that all online.
As easy as filling out the paperwork.
And a lot of states now we've got, obviously, by the time this comes out, the election's already passed. But a lot of states now will do mail-in ballots and things like that too. So But again, you usually have to do it a couple months in advance. Right. Kind of thing,
so even if you, for whatever reason, God forbid, if you miss this one, register now and just get ready. Yeah. Like just be prepared. Yeah. That way it's already set and done. Yep. You know what I mean? Absolutely. But please use your voice. Use your voice. Your voice really does.
It's so important. It's so important to lift it up and find other people, like-minded people.
Yeah.
I know it's tough sometimes when you have family and friends that have different views.
Yeah. And try to be even if you do not agree with these views, y'all, it's not worth the fighting. Some of these views, these people can be dangerous. Like, right.
Yeah, there's respect.
Pick and choose your fight.
There's respect, but it goes both ways. Is how I'll put it.
Yes. Yeah. Look, if she said what she said, how about that? And in that note, thank you for watching.
Thank you guys so much.
And thanks for your continued support.
Yes, absolutely. We love you guys so much. We will see you later.